So today, let's dive into a short but really powerful story called The Light in the Dark Forest. It's a tale that gets you thinking about a pretty fundamental question. What really happens when our only light goes out and we're left to find our way with something, well, something else entirely?
But before we get into the story itself, let's start with the big question that it really wants us to think about. Is the dark always the enemy? We're so often taught to be afraid of it, but this story, it suggests that maybe, just maybe, the darkness holds a lot more than just fear. Let's find out.
All right, let's set the scene. Our story kicks off with a journey that right from the start feels like it's pretty much doomed. A quest that has to be taken on, the absolute darkest of nights. Right away, the story just drops us into this really isolating atmosphere. We're in a town that's wrapped in this heavy, oppressive quiet, where even the wind seems to just make the feeling of dread worse. You can practically hear every single footstep echo, reminding our hero just how completely alone he is. And if you look up, the sky offers zero comfort. The moon is totally gone, just swallowed up by the clouds, plunging the entire world into this deep, almost suffocating darkness. This isn't just, an absence of light. The story makes it feel like a physical weight pressing in from all sides.
And right into this crushing darkness steps our hero, a young boy named Aaron. His reason for being out there is so pure and so powerful. His little sister is incredibly sick. But his mission forces him to face the one thing the entire town is terrified of, a forest that absolutely nobody dares to go into after the sun goes down.
And just when you think things can't possibly get any worse, they do. The one little bit of hope Aaron has, his lantern, it starts to die.
The story does such a brilliant job of building tension here. See, the light doesn't just go out. It's this slow, painful death in 3 stages. First, it dims. Then it gives this one last desperate flicker. And then, nothing. Absolute darkness. Each step feels like it's mirroring Aaron's own hope just being snuffed out.
So now, his world is just complete, total blackness. He's totally alone, he's lost his only tool, and he's standing right at the edge of the one place everyone is afraid of. This is it. This is the story's rock bottom, that moment of total and utter despair.
But it's right here, at his absolute lowest point, that something changes. The forest, the thing he's so scared of, it doesn't attack him. Nope. Instead, it speaks. Just try to imagine this for a second, hearing this question coming from the trees. Why are you walking alone, little one? It's not a threat, but it's not exactly comforting either. It's this ancient, powerful question that immediately tells you the forest is more than just trees. It's this intelligent, mysterious being.
And the voice isn't some simple monster. It's not something you can just label as good or bad. It's described as being heavy, kind of like the air right before a big thunderstorm. You can feel its power. It's an ancient presence that isn't evil, it just is.
And then, to go with this really strange voice, this light starts to appear. But it's not harsh or blinding. It's a soft, silver glow. And it just sort of floats and pulses gently, almost like a beacon that's inviting him to come closer, not chasing him away.
Okay, so this is a huge turning point in the story. Aaron has a choice to make. Does he stay frozen right where he is, terrified, or does he take this incredible leap of faith and follow this mysterious light into the very heart of the darkness he was so afraid of?
And as he starts to follow it, the voice gives him this incredible piece of wisdom. Courage is that which shines in the dark. The forest isn't just testing him, it's teaching him. It's completely reframing what courage is. It's not about not being afraid, it's about the light you manage to find or create inside the fear.
And wow, that leap of faith, it pays off, like immediately. The light doesn't just guide him through the forest, it guides him to his goal. Tucked away inside a fallen tree is the very medicine he was looking for, and it's glowing with its own kind of magical light, a gift from the forest for his bravery.
So, this all leads us to the story's really beautiful conclusion. Aaron has what he came for, but this whole experience, it's left a permanent mark on him. It's completely changed the way he sees the world.
As he's leaving, the voice shares one last, kind of haunting thought. The night is dark, but it is not empty. This is really the core lesson of the entire story, that the unknown isn't just a void, it's actually filled with mysterious forces, and they aren't all bad. And then, in this one last little bit of magic, his lantern, the one that went out, it just reignites all on its own. What a powerful symbol, right? The hope he thought was completely gone, is now back, literally lighting his way home.
So this really gets us to the core conflict of the story, right? This duality. The darkness, the Andera, it represents things like fear, loneliness, despair. It's the obstacle. But then you have the light, the Roshni, which is the courage, the guidance, the hope, the revelation. But here's the key insight. The story is saying you can't have one without the other. The forest holds both, and in a way, so does life.
And so in the end, his sister gets better. And while Aren never sees that magical light again, the experience was never really about the magic itself. It was a catalyst. It permanently changed his perspective. The real gift wasn't the medicine. It was the knowledge that the dark isn't something to fear, because it isn't empty.
And that brings us right back to where we started, but now we're looking at it through Aren's eyes. What do we find in the darkness? Maybe it's not just the absence of light. Maybe it's the place where we finally discover our own light. A space where we can find a courage and a strength we never even knew we had. Because sometimes the greatest discoveries are made when we dare to walk where there is no light to guide us.